Hello, and welcome to The Wave from Ocean Reef, a podcast about the flow of life today and how you and I might ride with or swim against it. I'm Dan Meyer, Chaplain-in-Residence at the beautiful Ocean Reef community in Key Largo, Florida, and here's The Wave for today. Over the past few editions of The Wave, I've been musing with you on the theme of anger. Anger, I've been stressing, can be one of our most creative emotions. It can spur us to face problems squarely and to innovate solutions. But it can also become one of our most damaging passions. It can inflame our pride and move us to that particularly destructive attitude or action that moral philosophers have called wrath. Life is continually provoking our wrath, and mainly through people. People treat us inconsiderately or cruelly or simply do dumb things. They act in ways that offend our sense of fairness or due process or justice. They have ways of speaking or acting that annoy or antagonize us. As Lucy from the Peanuts cartoon famously said, "Oh, I love mankind. It's people I can't stand." Maybe you can resonate with that sentiment at times. So, given that we're always going to be facing catalysts like this, just how do we minimize the chances that our anger will turn destructive? And how do we maximize the potential that it will prove constructive? I'm no expert on this, but here are at least a few ideas worth pondering. First, I might suggest we can avoid hanging around with habitually angry people. There are social circles that thrive on encouragement, problem solving, and hope. But there are also circles that just feed on gossip, bitterness, and complaint. So choose your company wisely. Secondly, instead of keeping a record of wrongs, we can make a decision to overlook minor offenses aggressively. Someone once said that there are two secrets to being content in life. The first is not to sweat the small stuff. And the second is to remind ourselves how much of the irritations of life are really small stuff. I'm learning how much my pride shapes my worldview and my responses to things. Thirdly, we can let feelings of anger move us toward repair and not revenge. I know the story of a boy who became furious with his father on a fishing trip. As they went out in the boat that day, the young man began to snicker. And when the father demanded to know what was so funny, the boy said maliciously, "I'm laughing because there's a hole in the hull underneath your seat, and you are going to sink." As friends, families, clubs, nations, and races, it's important to remember we are all in the same boat. We will sink or be saved together. And choosing to repair and reconcile isn't just a noble idea. It is absolutely essential to our survival. Finally, we can remember, I think, to deal with anger daily. Taking a page out of Zig Ziglar, I remember a winter day when I lived in Chicago after an afternoon storm blanketed my driveway with snow. When I got home from work that day, I saw the snowdrifts there. I thought about getting out the snowblower and the shovel, but there was dinner to eat and kids to get to bed and bills to pay, and I was tired. It's just too much effort, I thought. I'll clear it off tomorrow. The next day, I arrived home from the office, ready to take the project on. But after the sun went down the day before, it had gotten even colder. My wife and I had driven our cars over the snow and packed it down. And now, rather than fluffy snow to clear, I was hacking at ice. I've seen a lot of marriages and partnerships and friendships destroyed over the years by subtle degrees, haven't you? Anger left unaddressed piles up, and it freezes into wrath. And this is why the Bible teaches, don't let the sun go down on your anger. Instead, before this night falls, get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as God forgave you. Ephesians 4, verses 26 and following. So, where in our lives, or in our families, or in our community, is this particular message needed? In more cases than we imagine, it is less important to be right than it is to be in relationship. That's today's Wave from Ocean Reef. If you know of others who might appreciate this sort of content, I hope you'll pass it along or encourage them to find me on Spotify, Apple, or other podcast outlets. Until next time, I'm Dan Meyer, hoping that the flow of life is good for you.